here we are in front of the Church of San Gallo in Venice, Italy. This is a small church built in the 16th century, and it's a really extraordinary, beautiful, small space that I was able to get for this special presentation of the new work, Ocean Without a Shore. So this is the entrance here. We're about to go into it. I first came here in January of this year, and it had these three large altars, pretty imposing structures for such a small church. So I didn't really know exactly how I should approach this, and even really what I was going to do. I was completely empty, actually, which is a blessing in disguise sometimes. So I began to really focus on these altars and realize that as per the original development of the origins of Christianity, these altars actually are a place where the dead kind of reside and connect with those of us, the living, who are here on earth. And they really are a connection between, a cross between a tomb and an altar, a place to pray. So I came up with this idea of the notion of the dead coming back to our world, just temporarily. So you have these individual plasma screens mounted on the altars, and each one is separate individual, shows a series of people one by one coming towards us from a very dark, obscure place. The image is black and white, and they pass through this invisible threshold in the form of a wall of water, which is so clear and transparent you can't see it. And then they actually step into seemingly this space, and they become at that moment transformed into a high definition, highly detailed, full color image. In order to do this piece, we worked with two separate kind of more or less unique innovative technologies. One is the water wall, which is a device that's about 10 feet wide. It's about 8 feet high off the ground. It's got a trough of water on the top, and the water pours over a specially designed laser-cut razor edge. And the whole thing has to be completely level, and the edge has to be aligned precisely. It takes 3 days to set up. When you get it right, the water then maintains its coherency as it's falling until it pretty much gets very close to the ground. So you have what amounts to a sheet of glass that it's completely transparent with no disturbance that you can see right through. The other innovative technology we used is a special optical device that was made especially for this project, designed by a group called PACE, which works with the movie director James Cameron. And they designed us a special mirror prism system to align state-of-the-art high-definition video camera with this 25-year-old security black and white surveillance camera. And so it's really like the origins of video, the oldest type video image that we have, the old analog cameras from the 60s and 70s, meeting the contemporary highest resolution, highest quality video camera known today. And those two images are, through this optical system, are superimposed. A lot of the shots you see in this piece were actually the first take with everybody. I spent time with each person individually, talking with them, and you know, when you speak with people, you realize in the end, everybody has experienced some kind of loss in their life, great and small. And so you speak with them, you work with them, you spend time, and that comes to the surface while we're working on this project together, you know. And I didn't want to over-direct them because I knew that the water would have this kind of visceral effect. And so they were able to, I think, use this piece on their own, and a lot of them had their own stories of coming back and visiting a relative, perhaps, who had died, or you know, there was an elderly woman who came back to see her sister who had passed away 8 years earlier. And it was really interesting how people just sort of took this on their own. And for me, as a director, you know, that's a beautiful thing. You just let the people bring to it what they have and what they actually need to express. I think I've designed a piece that's open-ended enough where the people and the range of people, the kind of people we chose, which are from various ethnic groups and cultures, and I think that the feeling of more, this is a piece about humanity, and it's about the fragility of life, like the borderline between life and death is actually not a hard wall. It's not to be opened with a lock and key. It's actually very fragile, very tenuous. You can cross it like that in an instant. And I think religious, institutions aside, I think just the nature of our awareness of death is one of the things that in any culture that makes human beings have that profound feeling of what we call the human condition. And that's really something I'm really interested in. I think this piece has a lot to do with, our own mortality and all that means.